Oh, hey there.
Oh, hey there.
We're the History Buffoons.
I'm Kate.
And I'm Bradley.
And this is the History Buffoons.
We took a little summer break. In our last main episode, we talked about your trip to South Dakota.
Yeah, that was great.
And we had mentioned I was going to Colorado. So with that being said, before we even get into what we're doing today, I brought us back some beers that we'll go over. But what do you got for us today?
Well, I'm assuming you know this story.
Okay.
But maybe not all the details.
Probably not.
So we're going to talk about the 5 men who died with Anne Boleyn.
Oh, sure, yeah. Like her brother and the other people's. The
other people's.
Yeah, I mean, I know of it.
Yeah, I figured you would.
I don't know exactly her cousin twice removed died because she was accused of banging her cousin or whatever.
You can see Anne's story everywhere.
Yeah, but you don't hear about the little people.
But you don't hear about the little people, and that's what we're going to talk about today.
We're here for the little people.
Yeah, we are.
Because we like to do stories that aren't always just about the mainstream.
Yeah. Beaten
to death things and whatever. Because there are other people involved in these historic stories.
Yes.
In these historical documents. I love Galaxy Quest.
I know, I just watched it a couple weeks ago. It was so great.
Such a great movie. All right. So, I went to Colorado. It was amazing. I'm surprised I'm back. But I'm
surprised I'm back.
I found a variety pack that I thought would suit us very well. So I have 2 different ones. You have 2 different ones. I have a peach pale ale brewed with ripened peaches.
That sounds so good.
It does. I couldn't eat just like a regular old peach, cut it up and eat it.
Oh, really?
I don't think I could, but I like the flavoring on it. And then I also have a double IPA Imperial India Pale Ale, 8%. Damn. And then the 2 you had out of the variety pack.
Frost beer.
No, you have a Fest beer.
Fest beer. It's a German style lager.
Yeah.
And then I have a Mexican lager, which is always my favorite.
Which you like because of the Modelo, but the Fest beer is kind of like a typical German lager. I mean, really.
I'm going to try that one first, actually.
I think I'd be shocked if you don't like it, but you never know.
I'm going to try it.
I think I'm going to start with the peach only because I feel like
less percent.
That, and I feel like the double is going to alter the flavor for the peach for me. Maybe. I could be wrong.
I would think the opposite.
You never know.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Yeah, I like it.
Super subtle on the peach. It's on the back end.
Okay.
Not very much peach.
There's still a third one in our variety pack, right? Because I wanted to try it.
Yeah, no, I have 2 of them because you get 3 of each.
Okay,
so
perfect.
You can have the third one. It's not bad. It's just not very peachy, which also sometimes isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like when beers get flavored like this, they overpower, and it's just like all you taste, and it's like, well, where's the beer?
Yeah.
You know, I could have drank a Monster Peach or something if I wanted, but
yeah. Well, I'm glad it's decent.
No, I like it. We'll try out the double IPA shortly.
Okay, we ready?
Let's talk about the little peeps.
So I have to make my font bigger because.
Well, she's going.
I'm going blind.
She's getting old. Really she'll be 41 in about a week and a half from this recording.
Yes.
And it's downhill. Trust me, I know. I'm further advanced than you are.
And I'll never catch up.
No.
Okay, so before we get to the 5 men, I'm just going to kind of gloss over Anne and why we're in this situation.
The Cliff Notes.
Yeah, exactly. So Anne Boleyn was born around 1501
Yeah, because there's some like speculation.
Yeah. Yep. And she was born into the Boleyn family. Her father, Thomas Boleyn, was a successful diplomat.
Yep.
And he made sure that his children received an excellent education.
Yep.
So Anne spent much of her youth in the courts of Netherlands and France.
Yep.
And by the time she returned to England, she was super intelligent, well-spoken. She was fashionable. And she was a little bit more worldly than the other women in Henry VIII's court.
Right.
So when Anne caught the attention of Henry VIII in the mid-1520s, he was already married to
Catherine of Aragon.
Aragog. Sorry.
I was going to say Aragog, but I'm just going to say it like that, but say Aragon. From Spain.
Yeah. So the marriage had lasted for 20 years already. Like they were.
And do you remember how he married her? Because she was supposed to marry his brother, but his brother died and then she married him.
I don't know
like
the story like you do.
I know.
But that's
again,
interesting.
You're about to be 41. I'm shortly on the verge of being 47. My brain doesn't work like it used to. So if I get any facts wrong, I apologize to our 3 listeners. And I will do my best not to fuck it up. But I'm pretty sure that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like, I think
it sounds
he died.
about right.
Because that was like part of the whole he's contesting the marriage, like, well, she consummated it with my brother, so it wasn't legal, and so on and so forth, whatever. So,
yeah.
But anyways.
So their marriage lasted for about 20 years, and she did have several pregnancies, but only gave birth to one child, and that was Princess Mary.
Yep.
Henry desperately wanted a legitimate son to secure the Tudor dynasty.
Yep.
And as time went on, he became convinced that his marriage was somehow cursed.
Yeah, it's funny back in the early 1500s how yourself, other people speaking in your ear about shit all the time can just make you go like...
Peer pressure. Like the ultimate peer pressure.
I was always under the impression, I've said this like most of my life, is there's no such thing as peer pressure. There's just weak people. Yeah. Honestly.
Yeah. Manipulative people and weak people.
There's manipulative people, don't get me wrong, and they can certainly sway you into a certain direction that they would like. But like, I know it's hard, especially when you're younger, especially like, school age, like my son will be coming up to this soon. But it's like, okay, just because it's the whole, well, if they jumped off a bridge, would you? Yeah. Question? Yeah. Well, no, I'm not a fucking idiot. Yeah. And just because they did doesn't, and you can take out bridge and put whatever here. It's just sad that some people are so like, I have to fit in. Yeah. But I get it. Especially at a young age, you're trying to find yourself and so on and whatever. And it's tough. So I feel bad that.
But that's exactly what this Tudor court was. It was just gossip and.
Well, and that's what any court.
Manipulation left and right.
Back in the 1500s, that's what you had. Because anything that happened at court trickled out towards, the peasants or whatever you want to call them. Yeah. And, it's like, well, even like fashion, just as basic as that. Well, what's the movie? I'm drawing a blank on this one line. It's like, it's Pirates of the Caribbean. When he gets the dress for Elizabeth Swann, saying, I hear that's what they're all wearing at courts. And
clearly you've never been to Singapore. Yeah.
Fucking love Johnny Depp. He's such a national treasure as well. But it's basically like that, just as basic as fashion. It's like, well, the people at court is wearing this, so it must be great because they're great people because they're at court and I'm not, kind of thing. Yeah. So they would buy dresses and garments and whatever too.
The original influencers.
Fucking influencers.
Okay.
Yeah, don't get me started on that dumb shit.
So, unlike several women before her, Anne refused to become the king's mistress. Conviction, ambition, who knows, maybe both, but she held her ground, and that made Henry even more determined to marry her.
In his eyes, she was playing hard to get. Mm-hmm. And that sometimes drives especially a king fucking crazy.
Because he can get whatever he wants.
I'm
and all
the
of a sudden,
king. I want your hoo-ha. Yeah. Why aren't you giving it to me? Right. Now I want it more because you will not give it to me. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, all right.
So when the Pope refused to grant Henry an annulment from Catherine, the king made a decision that ended up changing England forever.
Oh, yeah. That's why there's a thing called the Church of England.
He broke with the Roman Catholic Church and established the Church of England with himself as the head and married Anne in 1533.
And I think we've mentioned this before, but I'm pretty positive to this day that, so like now King Charles, because obviously Princess Elizabeth, or Queen Elizabeth died. I think
now it's King Charles III. I think he's the third.
Is he the third? That
so.
Sounds right. I could be wrong. You could be wrong. You could be mine. That's a good Guns N' Roses song. Anyways, I believe whoever's queen or king is still the head of the church, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but
yeah,
makes sense though. I mean, they started it.
They did.
Many moons ago.
He started it.
Well, Jesus, I mean, isn't it wild? We're talking about something that would happen 500 fucking years ago. It's so wild.
It is.
That's why I love history.
So at first it looked like Anne had achieved the impossible. She had become queen, something very few people could have imagined.
Yep.
But the celebration didn't last very long. Instead of giving Henry the son that he desperately wanted, Anne gave birth to a daughter, the future
First
Queen
Elizabeth, yes.
Yep, the future Queen Elizabeth I.
Yeah.
Several pregnancies did follow, but she had miscarriages, and there was speculation that her last miscarriage was supposed to be a boy. So,
Did you ever hear the rumor that Queen Elizabeth was actually not his daughter, but like a boy that they dressed up as a girl and all that stuff, and that's why she had really long fingers and weird shit. It's just conspiracy theory, all that shit. Nothing ever proven to remotely close, but yeah, there's some weird conspiracy theory that
we'll have to look into that.
Yeah, you should, because it would be maybe a fun episode.
Have you seen any of the movies made on Queen Elizabeth I? Because there's one with Kate Blanchett.
Isn't there two with
there
her?
Might be two. I haven't seen them.
I want to say there's two. Isn't one's the Golden Age and one's something or other. I have not. I love King Henry history. Not that I don't like the Elizabeth I. I just never really got into it.
You never got
much.
past that first Tudor,
more or less.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So by the beginning of 1536, Anne's position had become increasingly fragile.
Yeah.
Henry's attention had begun to drift towards one of Anne's ladies in waiting, Jane
Seymour.
Yep. And in January, Anne suffered what was likely her last miscarriage, and it was presumably a baby boy.
Oops.
And this also kind of marked the turning point in Harry's feelings towards this other woman. So around the same time, Anne's relationship with one of the king's most trusted advisors, Thomas Cromwell, was also beginning to fall apart. He wasn't just a court official, as he was Henry VIII's chief. I just saw the three ones.
That's fine.
Henry VIII's chief minister and chief secretary.
You know, the funny thing is, it's three eyes, but
yes, it is.
Anyways.
And he was arguably the second most powerful man in England.
He had a lot of fucking power. He did a lot of things.
He was not born in royalty, nobility. He had to climb through the ranks with his intelligence. He had legal expertise, and he had the extraordinary ability to make things happen.
Yeah, he was a very smart man.
He was a yes man.
Yeah. But he was smart though. Yes, he was.
So when Harry wanted, wow, what I need to reassess my eyeballs here.
Was his nickname Harry?
No.
You keep saying Harry.
Do I throughout this whole thing?
You've said it twice now.
Shitballs. I absolutely know it's Henry. Why do I keep saying Harry?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember Henry being nicknamed Harry.
Nope. That's just
You're mislip.
Good grief.
I'm going to zoom in on that eye cross there.
So when Henry wanted to break with the royal, Jesus Christ.
Superstar.
I'm going to take a drink and we're going to start that sentence over.
So, yeah. Am I right?
Way to fill the gap.
I was trying to come up with something and I couldn't.
So he wanted to break from the Roman Catholic Church.
Correct.
And Cromwell helped build that legal framework, right?
Yeah.
So when Parliament needed convincing, Cromwell handled it. If the king wanted something accomplished, Cromwell handled it. He would figure it out. And ironically, Anne and Cromwell weren't always rivals.
Wasn't it Wolsey?
Both were involved at different stages.
Correct. Okay.
Cardinal Wolsey was Henry's chief minister.
Yes.
When Harry first wanted out of his marriage. And
but Cromwell made it happen.
Wolsey tried to secure an annulment. He negotiated with the Pope.
But couldn't. The Pope.
And the effort failed.
Yeah, he couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And that's how he kind of fell out of favor with Henry.
And then Cromwell rose after Wolsey's fall.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to confirm.
Yeah, no, that's great. I'm glad you mentioned that.
Yeah.
So Cromwell was the man to kind of help
initiate what he wanted.
He ended
the marriage.
The marriage.
Yeah. He was able to officially do it.
Cardinal Wolsey started it and failed, and he fell out of favor, and then Cromwell took over.
Right.
So Cromwell was the one that got the annulment.
Right. Okay.
So Anne and Cromwell weren't always rivals. For several years, they actually worked towards many of the same goals, particularly England's break from Rome and religious reform.
Right.
But once that fight had been won, their alliance began to fracture. They clashed over what should happen with the enormous wealth pouring into the crown from the dissolved monasteries. Anne believed it should be used to establish schools and support universities and care for the poor. And Cromwell believed these resources should strengthen the crown.
Well, okay, so she was a person of the people. He was a person of the crown, clearly.
Yeah.
And he also probably went that way because it would be seen better for
the king.
The king, seeing him do it well. He's trying to up my status, if you will. I don't know how you up a king's status, but you know what I mean. Secure it.
Yeah,
better
popularity, I think.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But don't you think you'd be more popular if you help the people?
I think so.
What do you think of your beer?
I like it.
Yeah, I thought you might.
Yeah, I do. So they also disagreed over foreign policy, with Anne favoring closer ties to France and Cromwell looking towards the Holy Roman Empire.
Well, she had ties to France being there in her youth. And like, was she ever engaged when she was in France?
Not that I recall.
Am I misremembering that?
I don't recall, but I know bits and pieces about Anne. Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I'm almost a little bitter, researching her because she's so overdone.
Sure.
Which is why I went for Lady Jane Grey.
Right.
And there's someone else that I talk about briefly in the story that I actually started researching and then switched gears over to the men, which I'll bring up. But
well, I keep interrupting. Let's get to the little peeps.
So by early 1536, Cromwell and Anne were becoming political opponents.
Yeah.
And then what happened next, we really don't know. Some historians believe that Henry had already decided his marriage was over and ordered Cromwell to find a legal way out. Others argue that Cromwell saw Anne's growing vulnerability and built a case himself before presenting it to the king.
Okay.
A third theory, and one that many historians find persuasive today, is that neither men needed to spell out what the other wanted. Henry wanted out of his marriage. Cromwell wanted his political rival removed, and their interests simply aligned.
Right.
So whatever happened behind closed doors, one thing's for certain, once the investigation began with these men, it moved very fast.
Swiftly.
Yeah.
Yeah, very quickly.
Within days, rumors of adultery, treason, and incest swept through the royal court, and Anne was not the only person under suspicion.
Well, no, obviously incest, her brother, was the one that they said, you had sex with your brother. It's like, no, I didn't, but okay.
So investigators began looking at the men who had spent time around the queen, and before long, arrests were starting to happen.
Yeah.
The first man that they came for was probably the least likely person anyone would have expected.
Yeah.
His name was Mark Smeaton.
Smeaton.
And unlike the others who would eventually stand trial, Smeaton wasn't born into England's nobility. He didn't inherit land. He didn't have an impressive title or come from any kind of powerful family. In Tudor court, where your family name often mattered more than your abilities, Mark was an outsider.
Right.
But he did have talent.
Was he the musician?
Smeaton was a gifted musician who played the lute, the virginals, which are a smaller version of the harpsichord.
Oh, it's not just... Never mind.
And other instruments. So he eventually earned a position in the royal household as a court musician.
Right.
So it wasn't a glamorous job, but it placed him in rooms with some of the most powerful people in England.
And it's back then, if you play that lute real well and something could come of it. You don't fucking know.
Yeah.
It's not like you're going to get a castle somewhere, but I don't know. People take care of you because they enjoyed that melody or some shit.
Yeah.
So
he entertained kings and queens, attended banquets and celebrations, and became a familiar face around court.
Yeah.
He wasn't part of Anne's inner circle, and but he certainly would have seen her often, and maybe occasionally interacted her during court entertainment.
Right.
Okay. So this proximity would be his downfall.
That's sad.
Someone had to be questioned first, and Mark Smeaton was their obvious choice. He had no family to defend him, no army of influential relatives needing answers, no noble title that made his arrest politically risky.
No, he was the first sheep to slaughter, basically.
Yeah.
So,
and if investigators wanted information or confession, he was by far the easiest target.
Well, yeah, because he's gonna start saying shit just to get out of it. Because I'm not. It's like the whole. We talked about it once before, like the coercing a confession, basically, out of somebody, just so they stop torturing you or whatever it might be. Same thing, really. It's like I didn't do anything, but I saw her with her brother. Just will that get me out of this? It's like no, you just condemned yourself and her now. Yeah, is what it is.
Yeah,
which is sad.
So on April 30th, 1536, Smeaton was taken into custody. Instead of being brought directly to the Tower of London, he was first questioned at Cromwell's house in Stepney. It's a suburb. Stepney. It's a suburb in London. It's actually kind of near the Tower of London.
Right. I'm pretty sure it's Stepney.
Okay.
But I could be wrong.
So exactly what happened during that interrogation has been debated for centuries because there are no official records.
Well, they're not going to record it, obviously. Mm-hmm. There could have been 20 people there and everyone's like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I don't see nothing.
I was just there for dinner.
Yeah.
I had a nice mead.
Was that a crow that just flew by the window?
No, that was a Cromwell.
So what we do know is that sometime afterwards, Smeaton confessed to having an adulterous relationship with Anne.
See, it's so fucking wild.
That confession, whether that confession was true is a different matter. Right. Modern historians doubt it. English law technically prohibited torture without the king's authorization, but there was always ways around that rule, especially in cases involving alleged treason.
Yes.
Contemporary reports don't explicitly state that Smeaton was tortured, yet several later accounts strongly suggested he may have been subjected to the rack or threatened with it.
I wouldn't want to be threatened with it, let alone subjected to it. So, I mean, sure.
So others believe psychological pressure alone could have broke him. So we're not sure. But imagine being this like commoner sitting across from Thomas Cromwell, one of the most powerful men in England, knowing your life depended entirely on what you said or what you didn't say.
Right. Fucking hell, that's wild.
Even without physical torture, it was probably torture for him.
Sure.
Yeah. So the imperial ambassador for Henry VIII under the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V, named Eustace Chapoy, Eustace Chapoy. He later reported that Smeaton had confessed, but he also noted that many people questioned how that confession had been made. Obtained.
Confession?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chapoy wasn't sympathetic to Anne. Yet he seemed skeptical about the circumstances surrounding the investigation.
Well, if you had any fucking head on your shoulders, you should seem skeptical about this, because it just seems like, again, this confession was coerced, whether it was even coerced or just fabricated completely and said we got it from him.
Yeah.
You don't fucking know. If you had any remote fucking doubt, what the fuck?
So I did a brief little run through of Chapoy, and he was like, he had a ton of documents. He wrote
Really?
about everything.
Oh, wow.
So, and most of it survived.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's why he is brought up, is because he documented quite a bit during this time.
Sure. Okay.
But he hated Anne, so all of his writings are biased.
She's a bitch.
Well, he was in favor of Catherine of Aragon. So.
Oh yeah, but I don't know if he knew this. Henry wasn't trying to get back with her.
Yeah. So whatever happened in that interrogation room, Cromwell walked away with exactly what he needed.
Yep.
A confession. And in Tudor England, especially in a case involving a queen, a confession carried enormous weight.
Which is just wild.
It didn't matter that there was no physical evidence. It didn't matter there was no witness.
Don't you find it funny that more or less a peasant's confession carried more weight than the queen's confession?
Yeah.
Isn't that fucking wild?
Yeah.
That's even a thing? Because, like, King Henry, Cromwell, higher ups, whatever you want to call them, all believe this coerced, whether King Henry knew it or not, he believed this guy
Yeah.
over his wife.
Yeah.
Which is just wild. And the only reason why he did is because I don't want to be with her anymore.
Yeah.
Which is just weird.
Yeah. So it also didn't matter that the timeline
Didn't match?
didn't match.
Didn't work at all? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Once Smeaton admitted guilt, whether willingly or under pressure, the investigation just went rampant, right?
Yep, yeah.
So if the queen had one lover, why couldn't she have more than one? So who was next? Men who had spent years enjoying the king's confidence suddenly found themselves wondering whether an innocent conversation, a shared laugh, or simply being seen too close in proximity to Anne could now be twisted into evidence against them.
Do you think like they questioned some younger guy like, I just filled their cup with wine, sir?
I know, right? So the atmosphere at court must have been horrendous.
It could not have been easy for the little people.
Every whisper suddenly sounded dangerous. Every friendship was suspicious. And before anyone had time to process Smeaton's arrest, investigators set their sight on someone closer to the king.
Which was who?
Henry Norris.
I know that name.
So unlike Smeaton, Henry Norris wasn't an easy target. Accusing Norris was so shocking that many people at court weren't believing it.
They're like, wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He wasn't just another nobleman drifting through palace life. He had risen through royal household over many years to become groom of the stool.
Poop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the most intimate and trusted positions in all of England.
Because you literally clean the king's ass.
The groom of stool assisted the king with some of the most private daily routines and enjoyed almost constant access to him. Yeah. Because pooping happens all the time.
Everybody poops.
I know, but like all the time?
Well, I mean, people have bowel movements on the reg.
But
so.
Henry Norris wasn't what they would call like a simple servant. He was one of Henry VIII's closest companions, someone the king trusted enough to be around him when almost no one else was.
Yeah.
And that made his suspicion almost unbelievable.
Did you come across who suggested that he would be? Was it Henry or was it?
I did not come across that. Henry Norris had spent years earning Henry VIII's confidence. He wasn't the kind of man who would burst into a room demanding attention or constantly maneuvered for power. He built his reputation the slow and honest way through loyalty, discretion, and reliability.
Yeah.
So in a court filled with ambitious nobles trying to outshine one another, Norris had become a man that the king could rely on. So, unlike Smeaton, whose confession had at least given investigators a starting point, Norris was one of the last that people in England expected to see accused.
Well, yeah, because again, of his close relation with Henry, the king. I mean, Smeaton, whether he was smitten with her or not, smitten, doesn't matter because he was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. This guy is literally wiping the king's ass.
Yeah.
And it's like, when would I have fucked your wife?
Yeah.
Seriously. That makes no freaking sense.
Yeah.
But okay.
So even Eustace Chapoy, who rarely missed an opportunity to criticize Anne, seemed surprised that someone so close to the king suddenly became part of this conspiracy.
Exactly.
The accusation against Norris centered around something that was not remarkable.
Right.
Just a few days before his arrest, Anne had supposedly teased Norris during a conversation.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
According to later accounts, she jokingly asked why he hadn't married yet, and then added something along the lines of, quote, "You look for dead men's shoes, for if aught came to the king but good, you would look to have me," end quote. Essentially, looking for dead man's shoes was a Tudor expression that meant hoping to inherit someone else's position after they died.
Right.
And Anne's comment appears to have been teasing Norris about remaining unmarried because people think that he was waiting for the king to die so he could marry the queen.
Yeah, that's not how it works either, but okay.
Yeah. So
Jesus.
Anne reportedly realized almost immediately that she went too far.
Right.
According to several accounts, she quickly insisted that Norris should deny ever having thoughts like that and swear his loyalty to the king.
But his loyalty was
like
already to the king.
Like, you're the one who said it, bitch.
Yeah. I shouldn't have to like swear loyalty. You're the one who said it. You should be more loyal, you biatch.
Yes.
Wow.
So once the investigation began, those few exchanged words were transformed into evidence of treason.
So who overheard those words?
Probably her ladies in waiting.
And those little bitches snitched?
Probably.
Bitches.
I don't know. There's
snitch.
a lot of people in court who just want a leg up.
Literally. Whores.
So, obviously, this wasn't proof of adultery. It wasn't proof of conspiracy.
It's not proof of, I don't know, anything.
But the investigators already believed or wanted to believe that Anne was plotting against the king.
Oh, dear.
Then came a remarkable moment in the investigation. Henry, the king, himself confronted Norris. Accounts differ on exactly how the conversation unfolded, but most agree on the basic facts.
Yeah.
The queen questioned Norris directly about the accusations and urged him to confess if he had done anything wrong.
The queen did?
No, the king asked Norris.
Okay, because you said queen.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The king asked Norris.
I was just making sure. I'm like, wait, Anne's questioning him now?
So in Tudor England, a confession could sometimes lead to mercy, as you have mentioned.
Right.
Especially if aligned with what the king wanted to hear.
Of course.
And Norris refused. He denied having any improper relationship with Anne Boleyn.
Good.
He denied plotting against the king. He denied every accusation placed before him.
Good.
And according to several chroniclers, Henry even told Norris that if he confessed, his life might be spared.
See, isn't that fucked up? Mm-hmm. The way that their laws, whatever you want to say, worked back then. It's like, hey, admit you did this.
And I'll let you go.
I might let you go.
Yeah.
But he's like, but
dangling the carrot.
Yeah. But it's like, no, I didn't fucking do this.
And Norris refused. He didn't take it.
Stand up for him because the fact of, like, I would rather get executed knowing I stood up for myself than fucking bending the knee to your will and then still fucking getting killed.
Yeah.
Because then now I go out as a fucking lying piece of shit.
Yeah.
No, fuck that.
Yeah.
I would stand.
An adulterous and treasonous piece of shit.
You get all this bad shit associated with you now because you wouldn't confess like the king wanted.
Yeah.
And you might save your life.
Yeah.
Like, no, I'd rather go out dead knowing that I fucking refuted this
the whole way
to the end.
Yeah. So whether Henry genuinely intended to show mercy or was simply trying to strengthen the case against Anne, it's impossible to know.
Yes.
Either way, Norris never gave investigators what they wanted.
Right.
So,
oh dear.
But unfortunately, his loyalty wasn't enough.
No, of course not.
On May 1st, 1536, during the annual May Day festivals at Greenwich Palace, Henry suddenly left the celebrations without warning. Just bye-bye. Where'd he go? Where'd the king go?
Peace, homies.
The king had spent part of the day watching jousting tournaments with Anne seated behind him, and then, with no explanation, he abruptly rode away on his horse, or carriage, whatever.
Yeah.
He rode away. Anne reportedly had no idea what was happening. However, that was when Henry Norris was arrested that day.
Oh.
So, one moment everyone is celebrating spring with tournaments and music and feasting, and the next one of the king's closest friends is being escorted under guard, accused of sleeping with the queen. So, people had been asking themselves this question: if Henry Norris wasn't safe, who was?
Who the fuck is? The answer? The king.
Yeah, he's the only one who's safe.
He's the only one who's safe.
So only a day after Norris was arrested, another came up.
Mm-hmm.
Francis Weston.
Okay.
Weston was everything you might expect from a rising Tudor courtier. Courtier?
Let's go with it.
He was young, handsome, well-connected, and he become one of Henry VIII's favorites.
Oh.
Unlike Norris, who had spent years carefully earning the king's trust, Weston represented the next generation of noblemen making their way through court. But he also had something that the others don't. He had a wife, and he had a very young son.
Okay.
Weston wasn't simply a courtier caught in a political storm. He was a husband whose family suddenly found themselves in this helpless situation.
Sure.
The accusations against Weston were similar to those against Norris. He said he was said to have carried on an affair with Anne Boleyn, though once again, there was no evidence.
When the fuck, during this short time, could she have banged all these guys?
I know.
Could it have happened? I guess. But we're talking about we're talking about 1530, whatever. The queen always had someone with them.
Yeah.
There was always people around
Yeah.
within the palace, castle, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Court. It's not like they could just sneak away to a broom closet and bang one out and then be back like nothing happened.
Right.
That's not how that world worked back then. So when the fuck, the only difference is I always think will you visit my chambers this evening, my king? No. Mm-hmm. He's like, no, I'm going to go bang this other chick.
Yeah.
I can do that. You can't do that.
So much of the prosecution's case relied on conversations, assumptions, and of course, Smeaton's confession, rather than anything with proof. One of the alleged incidents involved playful exchanges between Anne and Weston that under ordinary circumstances wouldn't have raised an eyebrow. Compliments, dancing, witty banter, and playful teasing were all common. But once investigators decided that Anne had been unfaithful, nearly every interaction she had... What's wrong?
I have a hole in my lip.
Oh.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So once they had decided that Anne had been unfaithful, nearly every interaction she had with a man suddenly became suspicious.
So that's and that's the thing. It's I must go buy some apples at the market. You talk to me, you're dead. It's what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where does it end at that point? They're literally it's a witch hunt.
Yeah. And speaking of witch hunt, instead of gathering evidence and seeing where it leads, investigators had already decided on the ending, and their job was finding anything, no matter how ordinary, that could fit their narrative.
Correct.
Yes. So.
It's like the news of today. What fits their narrative, they will put out there. And if it goes against it, they put the kibosh on it.
Kibosh.
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 I always said that.
So, if Henry Norris's arrest had shocked the court and Francis Weston's had deepened that sense of panic, the next arrest left many people wondering if anyone connected to Anne was safe.
Excuse me.
The next day,
Yes.
Investigators came for William Brereton. I didn't look up how to pronounce his name. Shit.
Okay.
Brereton.
I'm not familiar.
I'm going to call him William.
What's up, Bill?
So today,
Yeah.
William is probably the least known of the five men.
Maybe that's why I don't know.
But in 1536, he was anything but insignificant. He was one of the most powerful royal officials in Wales.
Really?
Mm-hmm. He oversaw enormous estates and acted as the king's representative across much of the region.
Oh.
He had accumulated wealth, influence, and enemies.
Of course.
William had a reputation for being ambitious, ruthless, and fiercely protective of his own authority. And those qualities helped him rise through Henry's government, but they also created plenty of resentment along the way.
From other people.
Mm-hmm. So
they probably saw this as an opportunity to let's get rid of this motherfucker.
Exactly. That's one reason historians have always viewed his inclusion in the case with suspicion.
Sure. Unlike
Norris and Wheaton, William wasn't especially close to Anne. In fact, there's very little evidence they even spent any time together.
See, that's fucked up.
He served the king primarily in Wales, meaning he was often nowhere near the royal court.
Where Anne would have been.
Yet somehow he was accused with having an affair with her.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
So there is a historian who has written a couple of books, one on Anne Boleyn, one on maybe Lady Jane Grey, maybe one on Henry VIII, only a couple, but he's known to be like a leading Anne Boleyn biographer. His name is Eric Ives, Ives.
Okay.
He argues that William may have been swept into the conspiracy because Cromwell had reasons beyond Anne's downfall for wanting him removed.
Of course.
Whether that's true is impossible to prove.
Speculation.
It's
obviously.
speculation.
It's not like we can go question Cromwell.
But this investigation could have killed two birds with one stone.
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing back then is there was literally no proof at all. It's just pure fucking hearsay bullshit.
Yeah.
And if someone of Cromwell's stature, rose up, I want what he has. I can do this with this. Fucking A, why not?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
He didn't care about that guy, whether he died or not.
So William was arrested on May 4th and taken to the Tower.
He was arrested on Star Wars Day.
Within a few days, a court musician, one of the king's closest companions, a rising young courtier, and now one of England's most influential administrators had all been arrested at the same time for the same crime.
Yeah.
So.
Same time, same crime.
Next, they arrested
Anne Boleyn's brother.
What's
his name again?
George.
George, that's right.
He was one of the brightest men at Henry VIII's court.
Well, until he apparently fucked his sister.
Contemporaries described him as intelligent, charming, well-educated, and he was a gifted speaker.
Yep.
Like his sister, he had spent years helping advance the fortunes of the Boleyn family, and he had become a true diplomat for the king.
Right.
He represented England on important diplomatic missions, spoke French fluently, debated theology with leading scholars, and he was known for his sharp wit. And if Anne had become Henry's favorite woman, George had become one of his favorite courtiers. So the siblings, what? You're looking at me like I misspoke. Did I misspeak?
No.
Oh, okay.
You're good.
So the siblings were undeniably close.
Because they're siblings.
Mm-hmm. They spent a lot of time together at court. They shared political interests and frequently supported each other's ambitions.
Weird.
In any normal family, this is not something that would need a double take.
No.
In May of 1536, not so much.
Yep.
George was accused not only of committing adultery with the queen, but of committing incest with his own sister. So even if the sister and the queen weren't the same person, it would be adultery and treason. So treason and incest.
He had the double whammy because
she is both.
He's related to her,
and she's queen,
and she's also queen.
Yeah,
and it's just really unfortunate because he never banged his sister.
No.
I don't care what the people say.
No.
He never did that.
No. So even by Tudor standards, incest wasn't just considered immoral. It was viewed as an offensive act against God. So if true, it would have made Anne not only an unfaithful wife, but someone capable of corrupting the natural order of both family and kingdom. The problem is...
Do you find it really funny?
Yes, I do.
That's are you going to just say that?
No, I want you to say it.
Do you find it funny that, like, oh my God, you fucked your brother, but kings and queens have been doing that for fucking generations?
See, what I was going for is they're like, that's an act against God, and we separated from the church so that I could get an annulment. That's where I was headed.
Yeah, but they still went with the Church of England, and they still, like, followed God.
I know, but it's just funny.
They bent it God to his will. But no, it's just like...
Weren't the Habsburgs all, like, incestuous?
Wasn't that the Habsburg jaw?
Yeah.
Where it's like... It's like Quagmire and Family Guy or whatever, if you've ever seen that. Or just... It's like a cartoonish-looking fucking person. And a lot of them died because of... Poor, like, genetics, basically. But yet, God forbid... But hey, this cousin's your first one.
It's fine.
Do that, and then next one will be once removed. Whatever. I mean, it's like what an actual fuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, I get it. I think it's all wrong. I'm not saying kings can do it.
It's just ironic.
It's just ironic that the fact that, hey, you did this supposedly, allegedly. But yet the kings and queens have been doing this for literally generations. Mm-hmm. And that's why there's fucking mutations and weird jaws and death. But yet you suck.
So, again, with George and Anne, the evidence was almost non-existent. Most historians today reject the incest charge entirely.
Because it didn't happen.
By the time George Boleyn was arrested, investigators had rounded up everyone they believed was involved, or everyone they wanted to make involved. The accusations painted a picture of a queen carrying on affairs with multiple men over several years, secretly meeting them in royal places across England while plotting against the king himself. Sounds a little bit overwhelming.
Do you find it funny that part of the thing was her plotting against the king?
That's all she wanted was the status, so why would she...
She might not give a shit about him when you boil it down. She wanted to be queen.
Yeah.
She didn't fucking care.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure she would have kept it in her pants. Does that work for females? You know what I mean. You get the reference.
She would have kept her pantalones on.
Wouldn't she have worn a dress, though? Mostly back then? But
they usually have something underneath.
Oh, isn't it like those weird, like, frilly things that you see?
Yeah, I don't remember what they're called.
I don't either. Let's go with pantalones. But it's I don't know. Pantalones threw me off from what I was saying. Go ahead.
Sorry. So most historians have spent centuries comparing the indictments with surviving household records, travel itineraries, ambassador reports, and court documents. And in many cases, the dates of all these accused individuals with Anne don't line up
at all. Yeah.
Anne was accused of meeting some of the men while records placed her at an entirely different royal residence. Other occasions, one of the accused appeared to have been hundreds of miles away carrying out official duties. Some alleged affairs were said to have occurred while Anne was heavily pregnant or recovering from childbirth, making them highly improbable.
Yep.
And one of the clearest examples involves William.
Yeah.
Prosecutors claimed he met Anne at Greenwich on November 16th, 1535, yet records strongly suggest he was carrying out official business in Wales around the same time. George Boleyn's incest charges suffer from similar problems, with several alleged meetings proving difficult to reconcile with where Anne and George were actually known to be.
But he's also her brother.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus fuck.
So none of this means historians can prove exactly what happened inside the royal court nearly 500 years ago.
Nope.
But what it does mean is that the prosecution, the timeline contains enough contradictions that many modern historians believe the case against Anne and the five men were on shaky ground.
Of course, yes.
None of those contradictions, however, would matter.
No, of course not.
So,
Not back then. It was enough to go on.
So there was another reason that many historians remain skeptical.
Okay.
George Boleyn was married.
Yeah.
His wife, Jane Parker. Jane Parker was the original subject of my research.
Sure.
She is later known in history as Jane Boleyn or Lady Rochford.
Okay.
She has, in fact, been accused of helping destroy her husband by testifying against him. And that's been the popular story for centuries.
So she testified that he did bang his sister?
Yes.
So she just wanted a divorce? She apparently did not like George?
There's no surviving testimony proving Jane accused George of incest, and many modern historians believe that story grew over time rather than coming directly from contemporary evidence.
Sure.
So what I did research for Jane Parker is she is labeled as like this horrible wife who tried to get her husband arrested and killed.
Okay.
But there's zero evidence of that because
Jane.
After this whole situation, Jane came back to court and served under who was the one before Mary of Cleves?
Mary of Cleves?
Is it Mary of Cleves?
I don't.
What was the other wife?
Anne of Cleves?
Is it Anne of Cleves? My bad.
Yeah.
Anne of Cleves. And she came back and was served under Catherine Howard and maybe even Jane Seymour.
Okay.
So she came back and served under all of these additional. And if she was the one who was.
She would not have come back.
She would not have come back. They wouldn't have let her come back because she would be the type then to be disloyal.
Right.
So no.
She would have
that.
been a disrupting factor
Yeah.
in those other.
But that wasn't the case. They're like, come back. We liked you. Serve the other queens.
Oh, yeah. Your brother, he banged your sister. You're good.
You're good. Yeah. So
no, your brother. Your husband banged his sister.
So what we do know is that George was arrested on May 2nd, and from that moment forward, his fate became tied with Anne's.
Yes, of course.
The Boleyn family had, which had written so spectacularly over the previous decade, was now collapsing almost overnight.
Didn't the father just like, peace out, homies?
No.
No?
No, I think I mentioned it here in a bit. Anne was imprisoned. George was imprisoned. Their father could do nothing. Their mother could do nothing.
Nope.
And Henry VIII, the one who moved mountains to marry Anne, made no effort in stopping what was unfolding.
No, because he wanted Anne to be killed because he didn't want to be with her anymore. Mm-hmm. That's how kings were operated back then. So
for the first arrest of the opening of the trials, barely 2 weeks had passed. By 16th century standards, that was fucking fast.
Right.
It felt like there was almost no time for the accused to prepare a defense, gather witnesses, or challenge the evidence presented against them.
That's crazy.
In many ways, it felt less like an investigation, more like just a machine that had already been put in motion. They had already determined what the outcome was.
Okay.
So, if the prisoners were hoping that the trials might finally give them a chance to clear their names, they would be bitterly disappointed.
Did they even get a chance to speak?
Yes.
Okay.
At their hanging.
Oh, so they gave their last words, last rites, whatever.
Yeah.
Not last rites, but they got to say something like, I'm sorry for what I did.
Yeah. So, the first trials began on May 12th, 1536 in Westminster Hall. Remember, the last person was arrested on the 4th of May.
Yeah, so this is 8 days later.
Yeah.
The trials started.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Mark Smeaton, Henry Norris, Francis Weston, and William Brereton were brought before a commission of nobles and judges to answer charges that, if proven, carried only one possible sentence. Death. The indictments accused all 4 men of committing adultery with Queen Anne, and by doing so, conspiring against the king himself.
Right.
Under Tudor law, adultery involving the king wasn't just a marital betrayal. It was considered treason because if any child born from those relationships could potentially become the king or queen. Really.
Even if it was like half
noble,
if you will.
Yeah.
There's a claim to the throne.
Yes.
So that's why it's treasonous. Yes. Correct.
So sleeping with the queen wasn't just an affair. It was a direct threat to the kingdom.
Okay.
So the prosecution's case relied heavily on Mark Smeaton's confession. The confession hung over the entire courtroom. If one man admitted the affair, surely the others must have been involved too, or at least that was the argument.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
Beyond Smeaton's statement, the evidence was fucking thin. The prosecution pointed to conversations that suddenly sounded suspicious, moments of harmless courtly flirtation, and dates that modern historians have since shown were often impossible.
Yeah.
But none of that mattered in 1536.
Of course not.
The verdict had little to do with proving guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
They just wanted to prove, what's the word I'm looking for? Just anything. They don't want to prove anything. They just wanted to put doubt in the minds of the people. And I have to sneeze. Excuse me.
Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Does your ear hurt?
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm warm.
Oh, your ears are sweating.
Yeah.
So Tudor trials, especially those involving accusations of treason, weren't designed like today.
No, of course not.
The accused weren't represented by defense attorneys. They couldn't call witnesses in the modern sense. And once the king had made his feelings known, very few juries were eager to disagree.
Well, why would they disagree with the king? Because then all of a sudden, witch, or, I just pick a word, but, it's like, I want to try that person next.
Yeah.
Because they disagreed with me.
So Mark Smeaton found guilty. Henry Norris found guilty. Francis Weston found guilty. William Brereton found guilty.
George Boleyn.
The men were condemned to be hanged, drawn,
and quartered. Which that seems like
a punishment for traitors. It was one of the most brutal
expeditious
executions.
Oh wow. That was a rough
That was really rough.
Oh,
I've got the word right in front of me.
Yeah, you do.
It was one of the most brutal executions imaginable.
Yeah.
A condemned man would be dragged through the streets to the place of execution, hanged until nearly dead, cut down while still alive, disemboweled, and finally divided into 4 parts.
Yeah.
Fortunately for the 4 men, Henry VIII later commuted that sentence to a simple beheading.
Thank goodness. Because what the fuck?
Yeah. 3 days later,
yeah,
on May 15th, Anne Boleyn and George Boleyn faced trial inside the Tower of London. Anne's trial was held before a jury of 26 peers.
Okay. Peers of the king.
Yeah. Provided over by none other than her own uncle by marriage, Thomas Howard, the Duke of Norfolk. Anne defended herself with remarkable composure. Contemporary accounts suggested she answered each accusation directly, challenged the evidence where she could, and denied every allegation of adultery, treason, and incest.
Okay.
Even some people who disliked Anne admitted she conducted herself with dignity.
Nice.
George Boleyn was equally impressive. Several witnesses later remarked on his intelligence and confidence as he dismantled many of the accusations against him.
Sure.
He reportedly pointed out inconsistencies in the prosecution's case and questioned how some of the alleged meetings could have happened at all.
Right.
Unfortunately,
didn't matter.
The verdict was most certain before the trial even began.
And that's the shitty thing. It's like, why have this farce of a trial?
For appearances?
If you're obviously you're going through the motions is mostly what it is.
Yeah.
But you know damn well what the fucking outcome's going to be. So why go through it all? It makes no sense. You're just literally wasting people's time. A little warmer.
Yeah, it's warm.
Yeah.
I got my Mexican lager and I think it needs to be colder.
Yeah, it does. My IPA is good, but
same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Both Anne and George were found guilty.
Of course they were.
Anne received the same sentence as the men, though because she was queen, it would ultimately be modified.
Yeah.
She was condemned either to be burned alive or beheaded at the king's pleasure. Henry later chose beheading, and he ordered that a skilled French swordsman be brought from Calais, which is like a town that's on the very tippy top part of France, right on the English Channel.
Yep.
And they would bring in the skilled Frenchman rather than using a traditional English axe. Did you know all this?
I did, yes.
Okay, cool. So whether that was an act of mercy or just an effort to make the execution cleaner, we don't know.
Yeah, I think it was a weird act of mercy.
Maybe.
Honestly.
After the verdicts were announced, the prisoners were returned to their cells to await execution. Those final days, I'm sure, were horrendous.
I mean, hey, it's Tuesday. I got 4 days left.
Yes.
Can't do anything about it.
Henry Norris remained steadfast. He never confessed.
Good for him.
Not once. He always maintained that he was innocent. Francis Weston also denied the accusations to the very end.
Yep.
William Brereton, according to contemporary reports, seemed almost stunned by the speed of everything. He had spent years serving the king, found himself condemned before he even really understood what was happening.
Right.
Mark Smeaton never withdrew his confession.
Which is sad.
Whether that was because it was true, because he feared changing his story would make matters worse, or because his confession had never been freely given in the first place, is something that historians will probably never know.
I'm guessing it wasn't freely given. I think it was fabricated and they put his name on it.
Maybe.
I could be wrong. Again, I wasn't there, but that's what it seems like to me. And that's why he never withdrew it, because he never even did it in the first place.
Yeah. His silence has remained one of the many one of the enduring mysteries of Anne Boleyn's downfall.
Right.
So then came the morning of May 17th. One by one, the five men climbed the scaffold on Tower Hill. As was customary, each was given an opportunity to address the crowd.
Yeah.
None of them openly accused the king. Publicly criticizing Henry VIII, even in your final moments, would have placed your family in danger.
Sure.
So instead, each man, and maybe that's why Smeaton never said anything, because he's like, I don't extended family or whatever.
Yeah, but he didn't. That was part of the reason why they picked him, is because he had no immediate family.
He didn't have any family.
So it's like, at that point, fuck him.
Yeah.
If I was him, I'd be like, fuck you, Henry.
Yeah. So instead, each man acknowledged the justice of the law in a traditional manner. Henry Norris spoke first. According to contemporary accounts, he declared that he died, quote, in the faith of the Holy Church, and insisted that he had always been loyal to the king. Francis Weston asked those gathered to pray for him. William Brereton's speech was brief. Records didn't say what he had said. Mark Smeaton, whose confession had helped unravel the case, reportedly admitted that he deserved death, though historians still debate exactly what he meant by those words. Was he accepting guilt?
Right.
Accepting his fate? Simply following the expected script of a condemned prisoner? We don't know.
Hard to say.
Finally, George Boleyn stepped forward. Those who witnessed his execution remarked that he spoke eloquently, as he always had.
Well, because he was an eloquent speaker.
He was. He admitted that he had been a sinner like all men, but never publicly confessed to the crimes for which he had been condemned. Instead, he encouraged those watching to learn from his fate and to place their trust in God. Then, one after another, the executioner did his work.
Yep.
By the end of the morning, every man accused of being Anne Boleyn's lover was dead, and only Anne remained, and we all know what happened to her.
Oh, do tell.
She also died.
Oh, shit.
Anne's fate had probably been decided long before anyone accused her of adultery.
Of course.
As for the five men who died beside her, history hasn't really been kind to their memories.
No, which is sad.
Mark Smeaton remained the musician who confessed. Henry Norris became little more than a name in a list of Tudor executions, despite having been a
very
close companion.
Yeah.
Francis Weston was remembered only as another alleged lover of the queen, even though he left behind a widow and a child.
Yeah.
William Brereton became an obscure political footnote, his remarkable career overshadowed by accusations
Which is sad.
Many feel were fabricated.
Yeah. Well, they all were.
George Boleyn was reduced to the brother accused of incest, despite the fact that evidence against him was not there. Yeah. Today, most historians believe the prosecutions were driven less by the evidence than by political necessity.
Oh, 100%.
Anne had failed to produce an heir that Henry desperately wanted. His attention shifted to Jane Seymour.
Yeah.
His relationship with Anne had deteriorated.
Yep.
Thomas Cromwell and Anne had become political rivals, and once Anne decided the second marriage was over, removing Anne wasn't enough. The accusations had to be believable.
Right.
If England's queen had simply been discarded because the king wanted someone else, it would have raised uncomfortable questions about Henry's judgment and legitimacy.
Well, especially because of what he went through to get Anne.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But if she had committed adultery, if she betrayed both her husband and the kingdom, then her removal was justified.
Correct, yeah.
And the 5 men became essential to that story.
I mean, don't you think by like wife 5, they would have started questioning who the fucking problem is?
Yeah.
Seriously. There's one constant. All these other ladies. Henry, what the fuck's going on here, buddy?
So within less than 3 weeks, 1 queen and 5 men went from being some of the most privileged people in England to condemned prisoners waiting to be executed. Their trials changed the course of English history. Their deaths cleared the way for Henry VIII's third marriage. And while Anne Boleyn's name has been around throughout history for nearly 500 years, it's worth remembering that she wasn't executed alone.
No, not at all.
5 other lives ended because the king had decided the story needed villains.
Yep.
Whether they actually were is a question that history is still trying to answer. And that is the 5 men who died alongside Anne Boleyn.
The problem is history will never be able to answer that because we can't go back in time.
Yep.
We can't witness all these accusations and or things or whatever. So it's unfortunate for those 5 people. This is your fucking legacy.
Yeah.
Which I guess you could argue they have a legacy. Welp.
I suppose.
All right, buffoons. That's it for today's episode.
Buckle up because we've got another historical adventure waiting for you next time. Feeling hungry for more buffoonery? Or maybe you have a burning question or a wild historical theory for us to explore?
Hit us up on social media. We're History Buffoons Podcast on YouTube, X, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also email us at historybuffoonspodcast@gmail.com. We are Bradley and Kate, music by Corey Akers.
Follow us wherever you get your podcasts and turn those notifications on to stay in the loop.
Until next time, stay curious and don't forget to rate and review us.
Remember, the buffoonery never stops.